Hello everyone, welcome back once again all of you. This video lecture is going to be include the four theorems related to conditional probability, which are generally known as properties of conditional probability, and they are most useful when we come across to the solution of the questions, and they save us time when we come across the probability type questions. Okay, so here there are the four theorems what we are going to discuss, and all the four theorems are related to a random experiment. What you can think, any kind of random experiment in your mind, you can go through a tossing of coin, a rolling of die, and a picking of a card from the desk of a 52 cards. You can think, right, any random experiment. Okay, so here what the experiment, random experiment, what I am concerning is, here let A and B be two events of a sample space S of a random experiment. So this random experiment can be anyone, what you can think, and S denotes a sample space. It means that S denotes a set in which all the possible outcomes are included of that particular event. And related to this experiment, here A and B are the events which are associated with this experiment. Okay. Now the first theorem which tells the probability of S here the sample space which is working as an event. Okay, so the probability of occurrence of sample space S under the condition event B is nothing but 1. Similarly, the probability of an event B under the condition B itself is also equals to 1. So this is the first theorem what we are going to prove. So theorem number 1. Theorem number 1, and the first part of the theorem number 1 is the probability of event S under condition B is always 1. Okay, so I am taking the LHS of this property. In order to derive all the theorems, I will take the use of set theory here. Okay, you should take one idea from the set theory, that when you take a concept of universal set, in the context of any random experiment, the universal set is nothing but the sample space of that particular event, because sample space comprise all the possible elements which are related to that particular experiment. It means that they can be treated as a universal set. Okay, and whatever the events will be related to that particular experiment except this S should come under the sample space. Okay, they can be joint set or disjoint sets, right? So here we are concerning only two set in one theorem, this one. So this is S and B. So let's say B is somewhere here. Okay, this is set B. Now here this formula can be opened by the simple definition of conditional probability, which is nothing but P of S intersection B and divided by probability of B, where P is not equals to 0. Okay, now we have to understand the meaning of S intersection B through this Venn diagram. So S intersection B, the exactly meaning by this notation is that we must take those elements which are common in S as well as in B. So where is B situated? B situated inside the S. It means that the elements which are in the event or set B, let's say the elements of B are 1 to 5. 1 to 5 natural number. So they are automatically included in S. It means that if I take the intersection of S with B, S with B, so this is B itself, because the number which are common in B and S will be coming from this B. So this value is B here. Okay, so I can write S intersection B as B from this by this equation. So this value leads to B, and in the denominator PV is going on. So this complete factor can be cancelled out because it is same, and this is going to be 1. So here this is the provement of P of event S under the condition B is equal to 1. Similarly, we can prove the second part of this theorem, which is probability of B under B. Also, we can write in the conditional probability form, this will be B intersection B and divided by probability of B, where P is not equals to 0. Now we can work on B intersection B. So what is meant by the B intersection B? The elements which are B as well as in B. It's mean that let's say the B set comprise element 1, 2, 3 and another B is same 1, 2, 3. So what are the common element in both? Common element in both are 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 are nothing but B itself, because this is B itself, and this is going to be B intersection B, which is nothing but B itself. It means that the intersection of a set by itself is that particular set itself. So this value is going to be as what? B. So PV upon PV here again, and this can be cancelled out by 1. So this is also going to equal 1. So this is the provement of first theorem what we can consider here. Now let's move towards the theorem number 2. So theorem number 2 is, okay, I am taking the LHS of the theorem number 2. This is P of A union B by E, and which is nothing but P of A under E plus P of B under E minus P of A intersection B under E. Before prove this theorem, let us take a first look on the general meaning by this theorem. What is the physical significance of this theorem in the conditional probability? As you are aware about the notation union and intersection in your previous classes, here A and B are the two events associated with a random experiment. Also, is also a different random event which can be also related to this random experiment. It means that B should take the three events related to a particular experiment here. And here union is saying that the elements which are common in A as well as in B. It means that the elements which are either from A or from B. We will take those elements which will become either from A or from B. So let us take a Venn diagram look of this theorem. In the Venn diagram, the LHS of this theorem can be considered as, we should take event A, let's say event A is this one, and event B is something like this. I have joined A and B here because A and B are a joint set, because here A intersection B is taken. It means that the elements should be in such a way, some element will be common in A as well as in B. Here this is already given. It means that I should take A and B as joint set. These must have some portion in common. So this is set A and this is set B. And as in the denominator A is taken, it means that both the events, the probability of this value A union B is under the condition. It means that E is predefined. So E should be like this. This is E here because both the events are happening when event E is already happened. It means that they should become from E. Right. Now what is the meant by the RHS of this theorem? The LHS of this theorem is saying that the probability of an event which is union of A and B under the condition E is nothing but equals to the probability of event A under the condition E individually plus the probability of event B under the same condition E, which is given to us, minus the probability of that particular event which comprise the elements which are common in A and B under the same condition E. It means that when we go through the probability of LHS, we should take the subtraction of those subtraction of the probability of that particular event which is taking the common elements, which are taking the common outcomes from that particular event in the given condition E. Okay, its simple meaning is that from the Venn diagram, the probability of A union B, it's mean that if I am interested to find the probability of A and B, A and B simultaneously under the condition E, I should have the value of the same is P of A under condition E, means that this one, okay, and the probability of event B under the same condition, this one. Now I have to subtract this portion, because I have, when I take the element of A, I am taking this one, and when I take element of B, I will take this one. It's mean that this portion is taking twice, so this should be subtracted from the both. So this is nothing but P of A intersection B under the same condition E. This is the simple general meaning of this theorem. Now let us move towards the provement of this theorem. Again, we can open this formula by the simple definition of the conditional probability. Here A union B will be treated as a new event. Let's say this event is C here, this one. So the probability of A union B will be like this: A union B intersection E here, okay, and divided by probability of B. What I have done? I have done A union B as C. This is P of C under condition E. Here A union B is taking as C. So C intersection E upon PE. Sorry, this is PE. Okay. Now here A union B and intersection E is there. It's mean that I can open the bracket, or I can operate this intersection in the bracket, and that will be what? This will be P of, I will take A intersection E, and what? Union, what? B intersection E. This is the expressed form of this expression here. Now again we have got the two new events, this one and that one. Let's say this is X is complete and this is Y complete. So here this will be read as X union Y, and the set which is X union Y can be expanded as number of X plus number of Y minus number of X intersection Y. So by the same property I am going to open this operator here again. So here this one is P of A intersection E, okay, and plus P of B intersection E, right, and minus P of what? This common to next one. So this one is P of A intersection E intersection another side, which is B intersection E, okay, and complete is going to divide by P of E here, okay. Now let us just resimplify this factor also here. This is P of A union B, sorry, A intersection E plus P of B intersection E, and this is minus P of, now let us again take a look on this value. This is again from Venn diagram. Here let's say this is A and this is B, and let's say somewhere is C. Let's say C is here. What I mean by A intersection E? A intersection E is nothing but this one value, because this is E and this is A. So the common in A and E is this one, A itself. And if I talk about B intersection E, then that is nothing but the same, this one, because this is B set and the outer set is E. So B and E have common B itself. Now if I talk about the intersection of both, So intersection of both is this one. What? A intersection E. A intersection is nothing but A itself. B intersection E is nothing but B itself. And what is the common in both? This one here. And this region is common in A, in B, and as well as in E. Because E is comprising both the events already. It means that the value of this operator is nothing but the common in all three events. This is A intersection B intersection E here. Okay, and again the complete factor is going to be divided by P of E. Now in order to simplify this equation, I can take P of E in the denominator of each factor, and I will get P of A intersection E upon P of E plus this is P of B intersection E upon P of E, and this will be minus P of A intersection B. I can take here the union together, and this one is E divided by P of E here. I have just taken P of A in the denominator of each, this one, and this one. Okay. Also, I have taken intersection B as one set, intersection with E. Okay. Now, by the simple definition of the conditional probability, this is nothing but the probability of occurrence of A under the condition E. Okay. So, this is the expressed form. In the concise form, this can be written as P of A under condition E. Similarly, this can be written as, because this is the probability of occurrence of B under the condition E, this can be written as P of B under condition E. Similarly, this can be written as, how? This one can be taken as again a new event. Let's say this is C. So C intersection E divided by P of E. So this is the probability of occurrence of event C under the condition E. C under the condition. What is C? C is nothing but A intersection B under condition E. This is the RHS of our LHS, and which is nothing but the provement of the theorem number 2. Okay, theorem number 3 is the probability of A union B under E is nothing but P A under E plus P B under E, and when A and B are disjoint sets or disjoint event. It means that when A and B have no in common, then the probability of A union B under E should be what? Probability of A plus probability of B under the condition E individually, because there are the no numbers are in common. So the common portion of the probability of A and B should be 0. It means that this portion should be 0. So the value of A intersection B will be 0 because no numbers are in common. This will be 0. And rest factor will be what? P of A under E plus P of B under E. So this is here. So this theorem is automatically proved in the theorem of 2. So this can be regarded as special case of theorem number 2 when A and B are disjoint set. Disjoint set means when A is somewhere here and B is somewhere here. So no number will be in common. This will be of A, this will be of B. So the union of A and B will be what? The number of elements in A, the number of elements in B. Okay, under the condition what? E. In the first case, the set were in this situation. So this portion was common. So this portion was denoted by P A intersection B. So in this situation, this common is this portion is no here. So the value of this portion will be 0. So you can put in the RHS of this equation as 0 in order to get the RHS of the theorem number 3. Now let's move towards the theorem number 4. Theorem number 4 is the LHS of theorem number 4 is P of not A under B is nothing but 1 minus P of A under B. Okay. In order to prove that theorem, let me take to you the one more concept of the set theory here. Let's say this is A here, this is A, this is S, universal set S. Somewhere an event A is taken into consideration. Now what is about the event which are not in A but they are comprising in S. It means that I am talking about those numbers which are not out of A but they are out of the sample space of a particular experiment. It means that if I say if I take example of rolling of a die and say what are the numbers which are, okay, let's say A is an event which tells me the number greater than 5, so that will be number only 6 in the rolling of die. And if I say what are the numbers which are not in A, so A only includes 6. What are the numbers which are not in A? They are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. It means that they are the element which are not in A. It means that this is denoted by not A, which comprise the elements 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now if I take the union of both, what I will get? I will get here A union with not A as what? I will get here the numbers which are from here as well as from here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay. Now this is nothing but the sample space of rolling of die. It means that A union not A is sample space itself or universal set. Okay. So I can write here as P of S under condition, let's say B, can be open as P of what? I can replace S with the A union of A dash. A union A dash. So I have taken this one. It means that I have used the property number 1, which is P of S under B is 1. Okay. So the value of this one is 1 from theorem 1. Okay, so P of SB equals to P of A union not A from this factor. And this value is 1 from the theorem number 1. And this is going to be equal P A union not A, right? Now P A union not A can be open as by which one theorem? 2 or 3? By theorem number 3, because theorem number 3 telling me about the disjoint sets or disjoint event. And here A and not a disjoint set, because there is no common in the event A and in event not A. Okay, so these are the two disjoint set. So this value can be opened by this formula. Okay, so I am opening this formula here. Okay, this is B also here. This is S under B. This is S replaced by A union not A under B. So this is under B. So why that particular theorem? Here B will be replaced by E. It means that the E is distributed A as well as on B in the sum as that. So I can write it as P of A under B and plus P of not A under B. And this is going to equal 1. So what is the value of P of AB? So P of AB is nothing but this factor can be taken into minus. This will be 1 minus P of not A under B. And its reverse is also true. It means that P of not A under B will be equals P of 1 minus P of A under B. So this is the provement of theorem number 4 what we have got. Okay. So I think this is the target. This was the target of our this lecture number 2 of the theorems of conditional probability.